to the Goodish Girls, guys. I'm Dallas.
And I'm Kass.
And we are back for another episode of Brimstone. For this, as usual, for all of our Brimstone episodes, this is a spoiler series. So please make sure you have not only read Quicksilver, but you've read the bonus chapters for Quicksilver, and you have read all of Brimstone, because we are covering all of it. If you have, welcome. If not, pause this and come back to it later once you have finished. And as usual for all of our Brimstone episodes so far as well, we have a drink of the day. What are you drinking today, Kass?
My typical sea blue Red Bull.
I got the same
one. Are
one.
you having one too? It's a classic. It's the only one I drink.
I'm going to give you guys some, what's it called? Oh, ASMR.
ASMR.
I'm tapping. I'm just a whisper. I'm tapping. I don't have long fingernails. Okay, ready? Here it comes.
Yeah.
I hope that you guys feel relaxed. Thank you for coming to our ASMR. That's not relaxing, Kass.
You. Haven't you seen the ones that are like... Never mind. I'm not going to get into it.
No, I actually don't watch them because they all
I don't either, but they come up on my TikTok. I'm just swiping, and then there's this lady that's like... and doing all these weird things, you know? I don't know.
Maybe that needs to be our niche. Maybe we need to be the ASMR Goodish Girl.
No.
This will be our big break.
Probably not.
Gotta whisper. I can't whisper. Oh my god, stop. I can't.
Whispers the entire episode.
There's no way. Maybe in other books, I could whisper or like talk monotone about not this series specifically. I yell at anybody who I talk to about it, even in person.
Yeah.
They have to stand a few feet away. I can't help it.
It's
I can't help it.
It's true.
It's not my fault. It's Callie Hart's fault.
Yeah, sure. Blame her.
On another
Blame
note,
her for your actions.
Here we are. We're covering chapters 24 through 30 today. We have our energy drinks. We are ready to go. And always, we are hydrated with our big ass cups by Sage and Fable. They sent us this.
I'm not hydrated today, but it's fine.
We gotta get you a Sage and Fable cup.
I'll dehydrate later. I know.
She's gonna hydrate.
Yeah, I have the coffee cup, so that's just another way to not hydrate.
Haha. We're hydrated and dehydrated. And if you would like to be hydrated as well, you can go to our show notes where you can use the word goodish for 10% off.
They have a lot of cute stuff. Lots of cute things.
There's so much cute stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They have lots of goodies.
And the owner is so nice. Like every time we message her, she's so kind.
They have custom book wraps too, which I think is so cool. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. Like if you're an indie author and you're looking to like have your cover designed, right? Mm-hmm. Then you can like go through Sage and Fable. Our discount does not cover the covers for authors, so sorry. But while you're there shopping for your new cover, you can get some accessories, and those are on sale for us.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So just to be clear, so you're not like I wanted 10% off my author books. Doesn't work like that, but there are other fun things you can do it there as well. So yeah, they're really nice. We do recommend them. So thank you again, Sage and Fable, for hooking it up so we are hydrated.
All right. Are you ready to get
let's do this? Yes, I've been waiting for this. All right, so as usual, we're going to go through all of these chapters. It is spoilers included, so each chapter will have a fun chapter recap, and then we're just going to go over our thoughts about the book and opinions and theories and things like that we've got going on. So, chapter 24, Tria Prima. Ceres finally learns a little more about the training she needs to accomplish on her journey to becoming an alchemist. The word even light hits us in the fucking face once again, and the Hazrax is acting more creepy than a high-value man in a bar at 1 a.m. in the morning.
I fucking love the Hazrax. That's all I gotta say. He's probably my favorite character out of this book.
He's so good. Yeah, no, I do like the Hazrax.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed. But he is acting a little bit weird. He's a little sus.
He's a little sus. But I mean
he's a little sus.
If you've read
it, but
yeah. If you've read ACOTAR, though, it gives, like, surreal, where you're just like...
It does.
I should be suspicious of you, but I love you anyway, so...
Yeah, but I like hanging out with you. So, first big plot point, and I feel like I'm bringing this up a lot in the book, is even light. Mm-hmm. We kind of know what it is. We kind of don't know what it is. They keep bringing it up. It keeps being there. It keeps being compared to other things. So Ceres notes the angel's breath coming out of Lorith's sword is very similar to the even light, vivid green tinted with pink. And that is interesting to me that he has a god sword, right? But also, and it looks the same as the even light. And then even when they have the ceremony for the even light, it's noted that it's about the gods as well. So what truly is the even light? What is it? I mean, we know its purpose, right? Is to like light the area, right? Of Amentreth. It's for the lanterns, it's for the torches, it's for the fireplaces, because they can't have real fire. But how are we harvesting?
Even in Zilvarin, they celebrate, even light. So why do the humans and Fae celebrate it?
Well, it's not,
and vampires.
It's the humans. It's just Madra. Well, really.
The humans participate, right? Because
it's a celebration. They get
good things that night. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's really an opportunity for Madra to stand on a stage and talk about the Fae and the powers and all these things. But I'd like to know what she's saying, right? It's all hearsay when it comes to that. We've never actually seen her on a stage talking about it. We just hear about it. Mm-hmm. And then for the people to come and listen, they get more rations. So why not just show up?
I wonder what stories she says.
I feel like the even light is so much more important than we're thinking.
Probably.
So it's just very interesting. It has all my little like red flags up. So another thing that happened during this chapter, which I was kind of interested in, is Saris gave a memory to the Quicksilver, right? Mm-hmm. Which we know that we're used to that because she gives something to the Quicksilver in exchange for binding with a relic. But she has to give a memory. But instead of giving a painful memory about her mother, she gives a non-important memory, right? And this is a quote that I pulled from the book. So she says, "Oh, take this one." And then she says, "Take this one," I whispered, drawing forth a different memory. A morning, one much like any other, sitting in the loft of the Mirage. I had been counting money, and I had been telling Hayden, ... Tell me if I'm overthinking. Do you think that this memory was actually more important than we think? Or was this just truly a nonchalant memory that really isn't important and now it's gone forever?
I think you know what I'm going to say. Because I read the book for vibes. So I was like, yeah, seems like a pretty useless memory to me.
Like a good riddance.
At first, though, I was kind of like, when she was going to give her memory of her mom dying, I was like, oh, that's smart, because then you don't have to feel that pain anymore. But then, it's kind of like, as she thought about it in the book, I was like, oh, but why would you want to give up, like, the last moments of seeing your mom, right? So then, when she's like, here, take this one instead, I was like, yeah, you're right, just give her, like, some random shit, it's fine. So
we think it truly is not an important memory.
I don't think it is. I don't know. Like, what
I was
would
50-50.
be...
I didn't have an answer.
What would be important, like so important, that she's telling Hayden? Like what kind of information that she would tell Hayden that would be like actually important? Because she doesn't tell him shit. She did not tell
Hayden a lot of things.
No.
That's true. I have questions about Hayden. I have a lot of questions. And not to just make fun of him. Girl, wait till we get into this, because I did not tell you this before we logged on.
I hate Hayden. So
I have theories about Hayden now.
I don't care about your theories. Girl, I hate Hayden. I hate him so much. He is man-child. He is Jeremiah Fisher. I'm over it. I'm done. I know you don't get that reference, but it's fine.
No, but you're going to listen to my theories anyways.
I'm going to listen, but I'm still going to think.
You might agree. I'm not saying I like him. I still don't like him.
I know you don't like him.
It's not like when I fight for Madra or Danya. This is not it. This is not that. I promise.
Girl, why are you fighting for Madra?
Because sometimes...
Snake face.
In our original Quicksilver episodes, I fought for her a little bit just because I think that I could be a good evil queen. And sometimes I'm like, sacrifice them.
Oh,
right?
Well,
remember we talked about that?
Yeah, but...
I'm not like, oh, I love her. I just want a sweater that I want bookish merch that has the evil people on it. And here's my thought. Hear me out. In Disney, you have all of the good guys.
Yes.
All the princesses.
Yep.
However, I could also go get one of Hades.
Yeah. And lots of people love the villains. Uh-huh.
Yes. Why can I not love the villains in my fantasy books as well? I can hate them, right? I want a sweater that says fucking Amarantha on it. Why not?
No.
I want one. All of the evil villains. I don't want just Amarantha.
Amarantha's like the worst of the worst. You can have the King of Hybern, but you cannot have Amarantha.
It's like a little head on. I want his little head on a spike. And then Hybern. See?
Hybern is fine.
Vote for them. I just want I think that I would rep that merch.
I don't vote for them, but God.
I want Madra on my sweatshirt. I would wear it.
You know what? Madra's fine. I can't believe you said Amarantha.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
All the villains.
That was the first one that came to mind. I can give, like, I'm looking at my books. I can give you, like, other examples.
Honestly.
Maeve. I would put Maeve on my sweatshirt.
Okay, but I feel like.
Right?
I feel like, yeah. I can see that. I can see people, yeah.
So maybe not. Okay, fine. Don't let me put Madra on a sweatshirt. Or
Madra's
Amarantha
fine.
on a sweatshirt. No, don't let me put
at
Amarantha.
This point, oh yeah. At this point, Madra really hasn't done. I was about to be like, she's not that bad.
See, now you're getting it. You're getting on board. Good job.
Malcolm's a little worse than her, but I would wear Malcolm. Bellicon though, disgusting. Absolutely not.
I would not put on a sweater just because he's
gross.
So boring.
I feel like he's gross,
dude. He's literally just like, a guy hit him with your car. Like
he's like the old man that gives out candy and tries to like sit with you at the bar and like shoot the shit and then take you home at the end of the night.
And you're like, please go away.
He's like, back in my day.
He's the guy that tells you to smile.
Yes.
He is a man that tells a woman to smile.
Yes. Oh my God, yes. You're right. Mm-hmm. You're right.
And no, I do not want that on my shirt.
Absolutely not.
No, I would wear Malcolm though.
I would wear Malcolm.
See? I would wear all of the demons. Put Mort Hill on my shirt. I would wear the Scorpion Demon. I would wear Joseph on my shirt. Yes.
I don't like scorpions.
Or
spiders.
Spider. It's different.
I don't like spiders.
Oh, I know.
I don't like bugs. No.
Cassidy, they're good for the environment. Okay, we're getting off track here.
Yeah, we're way off.
This is too far. I'm rolling it way back. God.
Alyssa's gonna be like, what the fuck?
Okay, back to the relics, though. So she is sealing this relic, right, that she made a bargain with. She gave a memory. But it was interesting because when she was sealing it, she gave it her blood, of course, as usual. But this time, it hissed when it hit the bottom of the crucible. And she goes, that was new. So my question is, what does this mean? And then my other question is, does it even matter what this means? Because once she seals her runes and she learned to become one with the Quicksilver, she doesn't have to get into blood magic anymore. So does it even matter that the blood is reacting differently to the Quicksilver now that she is half vampire, half fae?
I wouldn't think so. Because we see her use her runes later on, and they're working just fine. So this was the thing that I just read right past. I don't know why, but like in my head, like when you're in chemistry, right? And you're using your crucible, half the time the stuff that you're putting in is sizzling. So I feel like in my brain I was just thinking that it sizzled, that it would like do that every time. So when she was like, "Oh, that's new," I was like, "Okay."
You're like,
I don't know. Or did you just now notice it? I don't know. That might just be me though. I just assumed that was probably an assumption for me. So
yeah, I stuck onto it at first. Like when she first said it, I was like, oh, that is new. Like I wonder what that is gonna mean for when she has to use blood later on, things like that. But then she
doesn't have
her
to.
Runes. Yeah, now she does not have to. So also the Hazrax is now in the picture. Hello, Hazrax. We've missed you. So Ceres also is still working on the crucibles. And when she says, this is for my brother, this one just felt ... reluctant. And then when the Hazrax touches the crucible, touches the relic, it burns him. And I don't think that he was expecting that. And for a thing, not a thing, right? An identity that has so much power and knows so many things and or everything, I don't think he saw that coming. So I wonder what he thought about that as well.
I don't know.
So it's just interesting because what he says, I am not gifted with the sight, as some beings of this realm appear to be. I see avenues, pathways, light. I see possibilities. And he also says, I do not know something. I know everything, Seraphine, but it is not my part to reveal truths that must be discovered. So he says that, but then he also is like, you shouldn't do blood magic anymore. This is what your mind's gonna be riddled with holes. So like, he was a little contradicting, I think, in his advice. And so I question two things, right? Or I guess I could go two avenues. If we're assuming that this Hazrax is on either side, right? Is he on his own side where he's like, I'm not telling you anything? Or is he on the side of Ceres where he's like, hey, I'm going to help you? Or is he have a different alternative, right, is he saying, don't use this blood magic anymore because this will happen? But really, it's actually a way that could take him down because it did hurt him. Right. Is it something that she's going to have to use in the future to defeat him?
I don't know. But I did do a little research, okay?
Oh, yes, girl. Okay. Tell me.
Because everybody, right, from the second that the Hazrax comes into this book, everybody who's ever read ACOTAR, at least, has been like, oh, it's a surreal, right? Now, the term Hazrax is literally coined by Callie Hart for this book.
Yes.
But everything for how he acts, everything for what he sees, all of that is pretty dead on for a surreal, okay? So a surreal, I looked it up for what it actually means or what it translates to. In Hebrew, it means my rock is God, okay? A lot of times, a surreal is associated with an archangel. So for Christians, that's like Lucifer, whatever. He's associated with an archangel and is often seen as a guide or messenger of divine mysteries.
Okay.
So they never show themselves as like, this is the way. This is how you should do this. Or the messages that they bring, they tend to have things where you're like, okay. And people can take it lots of different ways, which in Christianity or in religion in general, a lot of things are metaphors like that. So I don't know how exactly the Hebrew definition got us to how they use it as being like a guide or messenger of these crazy mysteries, and then being like, my rock is God, because I feel like that's two very different things, but also I feel like it fits the mystery kind of thing. And I have seen a lot of things online that some people think the Hazrax is the god of secrets, Curran.
One more time?
Some people on the internet that have read this book think that the Hazrax is actually the god of secrets, Curran. Because that's one that is also just like, oh yeah, and here's this god. He's the god of secrets.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
But a lot of people don't remember the original form of the Hazrax and their people way back when, right? They say he's just like his own thing.
Okay. All right. Yes.
I don't know. This is where I don't know if I fully believe that theory, but that's like when I was diving in and trying to look up like, okay, the Hazrax like cereal, what does that mean? What does that equal? A lot of people were like, I think this. And I was like, oh shit. Maybe. But I don't know if I fully am on that bandwagon. I just like how a lot of the time throughout the book, you're kind of like, what the heck is this thing? And like you said, you're like, is he helping? Is he helping himself? What's going on? And he's just kind of this mystery of a thing that is like literally fitting for a surreal. That's what they are. They're not a god. They're not an oracle. But they just bring a bunch of messages or help guide you in a way with lots of really weird mysteries.
Whoa. Okay. All right, here's my thoughts. I do have thoughts on it. I love the idea that he is Curran, the god of secrets. Because I think being a god, right, and then going into an entity's body and then showing up, but no one remembers what you used to look like, so you are technically a secret, is a really good way to get next to a person and or persons that have literally untethered themselves from the universe via Zareth, the god of chaos and change, right? So what other way to get in front of the people that you are wanting to destroy and or help or whatever their opinions are, right? Because we know via Zareth that the other gods aren't really fond of all of these things, and they would rather just wipe the slate clean.
Right.
If this is the fact or the case, I wonder if Curran, the god of secrets, does not actually feel that way because it was not ever like oath-bound to Cerys, right? So he could have harmed her, especially when Kingfisher left and was like, just be done with it, get rid of it, so wipe the slate clean.
Right.
But again, he chose not to. Not only that, he chose to help her on numerous occasions and make this deal where he can watch her. And he also used to do this with Malcolm. So I find that interesting. I also find it interesting that if it is the god of secrets, and this is where I get skeptical, is because if Kingfisher is truly a demigod or a full god, he knows the other gods, right? And I know that he didn't know. I know that they're like well, no one's known this one's form since back then. I feel like Kingfisher would know, or at least have an idea.
Unless it is like your theory in the beginning where you're saying he's putting himself in a different vessel to watch or to interfere in some way, right? If he's using the Hazrax just as a vessel and he's not saying anything for generations, right? Just using it as a way to watch. Would Kingfisher pick up on that? I mean,
I don't know.
If he wasn't raised by his father, so does he really?
For quite a few years.
Yes, but like I feel like he probably would have a lot more training or like keen senses if he was with his father for the majority of it versus his mom. I feel like there's a lot of things still with the gods that he maybe knows more than most, but I feel like
he might miss it. Also, in this book, Kingfisher is not as keen to details as he was in Quicksilver, and I have a lot of thoughts on that. Like a ton of thoughts. Yes. Interesting. Okay. All right. Here's a theory. I am neither here nor there on it yet. Maybe I might change my mind as we read through this book once more. But okay. Is Hazrax the god of secrets Curran?
I don't know.
Pin in it. A little pin. Put it in there. Okay, so one other thing that the Hazrax says as well is when he's like talking about her mind being full of holes and like the blood magic, and then he says, do those runes on your hands need to be sealed? Does your mate need to be wary of new faces? He says he has other couple things. He's like, do you need to create thousands of relics so that you can whisk the weak and small away from this place, etc., etc., like other questions. But where I landed is, again, does your mate need to be wary of new faces? And the only reason I'm wary of this is because it's mentioned twice. And I was like, what new faces?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean? Yeah, which faces? Right? I feel like he was trying to say something to her without actually saying something to her. Right? Which faces? There is a lot of new ones. And I think our minds maybe like go to like Zovina or Ishabal, right? Like, because we know Zovina dies. And we know Ishabal did betray, technically, right? With somewhat, I guess, of good intentions. But she has a lot hiding. But I think, was this him telling us that this is what's happening? Malcolm is not technically a new face. I would not consider him a new face because he was with Kingfisher through the entire maze. So I would not consider him new. There's other new faces, right? Like Alget, we know she's a new face. And I have questions about her as well. But then like Foley, is he considered a new face or an old face?
I think for most people, if they are just reading the books, which, I don't know, as somebody who just picks up books to read them, I don't always know if there's bonus chapters. So people might not know him until this book, right?
That's
or
true.
know of him. So I would say he's probably a newer face because he actually becomes important, but he becomes important. I don't know. Or what about Hayden? Hayden's not technically new.
But he's new to Kingfisher. Right. And I have a lot of thoughts about Hayden and things that I have read in this book about Hayden that make my ears perk up. So maybe Hayden could be the new face that we need to be wary of.
Right.
I'm interested. Okay, I like that you said that. So, also, more in the Hazrax. Dude is a very interesting individual. So, he says, a deal was struck between myself and the Vampire King. I was allowed to observe him, and in return, he was permitted for one favor per year and each year that I remained here. And then he also says, mine is the power to put out a sun, perhaps? The power to ... untether gravity? Which makes me also like that theory more that he is a god. Because what other being have we met within the series that can do really wild stuff like that? Right? And then, as we said before, he says, who knows anymore? This body is just a vessel. My mind is very old. It can be in many places at once. I see through the eyes of others from time to time. These are very useful skills to have.
That line alone... that line alone makes me really think that he might be
the god
Curran
of secrets.
Yeah.
That's
my body's just a vessel.
Yes.
I can be in many places at once.
Which means it would make sense of why he would know so many secrets. How do you get into the eyes? How are you getting people's minds? Who are you doing this to? Do they know? And it was interesting to me that Ceres wasn't like asking the same questions.
No, she was just like, okay.
I was like, girl.
Her and Kingfisher, this book, are just like, okay, take it as it is.
Yeah, I was like, I think we should probably look into these words, but okay. I guess we'll just move on. It's fine. So, yeah, lots of weird things. And then he's really insistent that there must be a deal. He's like, there must be a deal. And she says that there was a threat behind that. But I think that she misinterpreted that incorrectly. I think something else happens if there's not a deal. I don't think it was just like, there must be a deal. Like, I want this deal. I think there were a lot of unsaid words behind that sentence of there must be a deal. Or XYZ will happen to him, to the Hazrax.
Right.
She was like, oh, there's like threat behind that. I guess I don't have a choice. Like, but I think there was more. And again, there wasn't a need for a blood bargain because he's like, I don't deal in blood magic.
Right.
I guess, can gods deal in blood magic? I don't know.
Do they need to?
I don't know. Does he need to? Could he? Right? If he is truly a god. I don't know. But there was no need for a blood bargain because he doesn't use that. And when Ceres grabs, so like the relic is floating in the air, right? Because he's like, I can untether gravity. And then the relic's floating. She grabs it, and she says, I went to reach for it, and it abruptly stopped spinning and dropped like a stone into my hand. The second the cool metal hit my palm, the world pitched on its side. Blinding white light flared behind my eyes. This is the first time that a relic has done something to her. And then that's like the end of the chapter, essentially, right?
Right.
Like, girl, you okay? It sizzled when it went into the thing. It burned the Hazrax. Like, it was meant for Hayden. And, like, what is happening?
But does she give it to Hayden? Does she end up giving that relic to Hayden?
I don't think so. I don't think this one, because the boys already left.
Right.
They're already in there, and they already have the relic for Hayden. So was this a different one? Or was she talking about previously, like, this relic is for whatever, but then one that she had made before fell off, and that was the one for Hayden?
I don't know. That's a good question. So, ELROY ends up being the biggest secret keeper in Zul'Varin and shows the boys his secret pool of Quicksilver that his family line has been growing for decades.
And on this week's episode of The Murray Show, ELROY, you are not the father.
So speaking of theories that did not come true, ELROY is not the dad.
Not the dad.
Not the dad.
But
we learn so much about him and his family history that I was not expecting.
No one saw this coming.
And I'm a little sus, actually. I have some sus feelings about him.
Yes, agreed. Okay, so first big plot point. Again, as usual, the goddamn even light is here. It's everywhere. It's literally everywhere. It's wild. So again, we know it's like a pale green light. It has a little bit of pink in it. And it lights the torches. So it says the pale green glow of the even light torches they carried barely cut through the shadows. They shouldn't have even had even light here. The burning heat rose up within me again. The same heat that had all but suffocated me back in the swear until I couldn't fucking breathe around it. Now, this is Fisher in Zul'Varin, and I have a lot of questions and or issues with his behavior in Zul'Varin. So, again, we have even light. Why do we have even light? First of all,
right.
We don't know really the origin of it. We don't know like how it first got to any of these places in Velia or Zul'Varin or anywhere, right? So we know that it's here. We know it shouldn't be here, and which it almost makes me think that's why Madra has to have this ceremony each year, or this festival for the even light, because they have a ball, right? Back in Uvelia at Amontreath, where they celebrate it, and then the spirits fly over, whatever is flying over, the light rechargers, right? Fly over. Is this why Madra has to have this festival? Because there's even light here and she needs to recharge it?
But do they see the even light fly over in Zul'Varin?
It doesn't say, but it also doesn't give us any information. And would we even know? Because it's never dark. It's always sunny.
That's true.
So would we see it at all?
It's always sunny in Philadelphia.
It is. 2 suns. So that's why I don't know. And also, what heat is affecting Kingfisher this badly? I know dude is a winter boy, but like, it's...
2 suns is pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy, but he's also a literal Fae warrior. So you can handle some heat. And he mentions the heat many times in different scenarios. And not just like, God, it's fucking hot out here. Like, I'm sweating. He's like, it literally suffocated me.
Yeah.
So something is happening there besides the fact that it's a giant circle full of magic. Like, something is happening. Also, okay, so here's back to Hayden. Hayden, red flag number 1. It says, Hayden could see through the shadows by the forge in Zul'Varin. Kingfisher's like, he says he couldn't see, but he knew where he was. There wasn't time to process that piece of information. And every time in Zul'Varin, Kingfisher notices a red flag, he brushes it off. Or says there isn't time to think about this. or I don't have time right now, or this other thing is so important. Hello? Who are you? What is happening? He says, my shadows had already vanished here. The room was sweltering, a fire raging in a ... Like, again, we're talking about the heat. The room was sweltering. Hotter than outside. Like, I know we're going into the, like, this forge area, but...
Right.
How did you know where you were, Hayden? How could you see past the shadows? And why were the shadows already gone by the time you guys walked into that building?
This makes me think there is some kind of, like, protection on the forge from ELROY's family. Because at some point when they go down to see the Quicksilver pool, he uses his blood and there's runes, right, built into it. And there's, like, a secret passageway. So why wouldn't there be other magic wards in there to protect?
Yeah. But usually he can tell when there's a ward. He's like, oh, there's a ward here. Like, he can feel it.
But he's obviously not paying attention to shit.
But why is he not paying attention to anything?
He's hot.
And it's only
I don't know.
in Zilvarin. Because when we get back to Evalia, he's, like, super in detail again.
Yeah.
What is it about Zilvarin that has this weird, like, blanket over him?
Is it the heat and the magic?
I don't know. Maybe. Right? I don't know. It's all so weird to me. So, going to ELROY for just a little bit, right? There's a couple of weird things about ELROY. So, ELROY immediately knows that Kingfisher is a Fey warrior.
Right.
Right? Which you're like, oh, okay. And during this chapter, I was in the thing like, oh, he's definitely the dad. That's why he knows. He's not the dad. So I had to reread this a couple of times to, like, really get a vibe on it, right? So... And he goes, those shadows you just cast across the whole city, that could have gotten us killed. How would that have even helped your cause? Like, he knew whose specific shadows those were. Like, he knew all of it, right? Mm-hmm. How, I get the heritage, I get, like, the family seat, like, keeping a track of carrion.
See, that's what I don't get. Because who brought these people to Zilvarin and said, this is your job?
Supposedly, Kingfisher's dad, Finrin, brought carrion as a baby.
Right. Carrion, yes. But who placed ELROY's family line there and said your job is to take the Quicksilver out of any piece of metal here and put it aside? And, by the way, here's every piece of history that you need to know in books that your family literally ends up burning to keep it safe. Who put them there?
Keep it safe. Yeah.
Who put them there?
Here's what he says. He says, my father, and his father made him promise, I am a forge master, warrior. That word got me.
Right.
Who put them there? The son of forge masters. The Swift family wasn't the only bloodline that was charged with the task they handed down through the generations. Gracia and her lot watched over the boy. Me and mine were given a different job to do. So yes, I agree. Who did this? My only guess is Finrin, right? Because that's who took Carrion. That's who brought Carrion through the Quicksilver with Solace the sword. So my guess is that Finrin / Styx / two different people, still unsure, went through, set up Carrion, made these bargains, I guess.
I don't know.
But how are you going to know who to trust?
I don't know. And if ELROY knew all of this all along, correct, and he picked up pretty quickly, he says that Ceres has an affinity, right, for Quicksilver. Did he know that was coming? Or did he know...
Did he know what was coming?
Like, that she would have an affinity, that there would be somebody that could... Does he know what an alchemist is? Like...
My guess is yes.
So if he knows all that history, then why wouldn't he train her in a way to use that stuff? This is where I get pissed, actually, okay? Because he says he picks up on it right away, right? He's supposed to be this incredible, I don't know, Forge Master?
Yeah.
And be able to do these things. He has all that Quicksilver. Why didn't he train her, or at least teach her how to use that? How to use Quicksilver in the Forge. And if he would have done that, let me just say, there would not have been that big of book 1. Book 1 would have been like 5 chapters. If she knew.
Maybe that's the reason.
If she knew how to properly do that.
I don't think he knew. I don't think he knew how to do the magic, right? Also, first of all. Second of all, the big pile of Quicksilver medals that they had that eventually turned into the giantess pool was all solid until Ceres left. and then became the Quicksilver pool again. So I think he had books. I think he had information. And I don't know what it said in those books, right? Even Kingfisher was like, what was in there that could have put Sirius in danger specifically? Mm-hmm. Did he have books from Kingfisher's mom? Was it another journal?
I don't know.
Was it a book for ELROY specifically?
Was it an alchemist book? Like the ones that she's finding in the library?
Yeah, what was it? We don't know. But also, and he has rules that he has to follow, right? He says, don't tell anyone about the Fae. Don't talk to Carrion about the Fae. Don't tell anyone about any magic users I come across. Things like that. What things? What else? Why would you not go over all the rules? He stresses me out so much in this book. I'm like, hey, you're not the dad, but you're something.
I don't trust him anymore.
I also struggle with the trust over ELROY.
Mm-hmm.
And then, again, it's back to Kingfisher. It's noted again, the heat. He says, my body felt strange, too hot. It could have been the fact that I was standing in a forge, which I don't think is the cause, in a realm that was already unreasonably fucking hot. But this felt different. I could feel my heart beating all over my body. I don't think you're overheating. I think something is happening to you in that area.
And he's in the room. He's in the room with Hayden and ELROY, which we are suspicious of both.
Yes, exactly. And also, ELROY has his blood infused with a magic door.
Mm-hmm. This, I honestly, I didn't think it was weird, only because of him talking about how this is a whole, like, thing passed down through his family line. Mm-hmm. I feel like they have to have, like, the genetics of the blood to be able to open it, kind of thing.
Maybe. Yeah, it's interesting. So they have to use,
he'd be using magic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Kingfisher should have been like, what the actual fuck is happening right now? And he's like, okay, cool. All right, let's go. So yeah, he used a tiny little piece of magic, a little prick of blood, and it opened a door. Mm-hmm. It's just interesting. And also, and I don't know if this is like a thing. This might not be a real thing. But it says, they're saying that like the walls downstairs were made with granite. And this is the first time we hear the like word granite in this book. And this could be like my obsession with like obsidian, where it's not mattered. I just thought that it was going to matter, but it maybe doesn't matter. But I'm going to say it anyways for the record. So it says that like the walls are made with granite, and granite appears only in Yvelia in this book. And it's only mentioned 2 times. It's mentioned that it's in Ishnar and Kalish. And then obviously these walls here. So it tells me that like maybe Faye for sure, obviously Faye for sure did build this, and they were planning to put a pool here.
Right.
Or something. Something was happening. Like I need more facts about what happened back in the day. I need an ELROY bonus chapter.
I think she just needs to create a whole book on the history of how we got here.
Agreed. Yes, I need a prequel. Yes. Well, and bonus chapters hopefully are coming soon. I don't know when. It could be after or before this episode is posted. But when I made a TikTok online, and it said, all I want for Christmas is a pink Bentley, right? But instead of a pink Bentley, I put Quicksilver or Brimstone bonus chapters. And Callie Hart commented, and she said, I got you. But got you is 1 word, and that tells me that she means it.
Okay.
I crashed out for a really long time.
I know you did.
I did, and I read it in the morning, so I rolled over, and I pick up my phone, right, and I look at my phone, and I was like, hold on, what, something's happening on my phone. This has a picture of Callie Hart. And I was like, what's happening? It was real.
It was real. It was her real account.
Happened. You guys, it wasn't a fake account. Yeah, on our TikTok at goodishgirlspod, it's a picture of me with a Brimstone book. Click on it and then go to the comments. So that tells me that they're coming.
Yeah, soon. We might get something. I don't know.
I wanted to ask follow-up questions, but I knew she wouldn't answer them.
No, she's not.
Nope. I made a good choice. I was like, I just put 3 heart emojis. I was like, I don't know what to say.
Oh,
so,
man.
Anyways, I don't know. The granite may or may not mean something. I need bonus chapters. It is what it is. So, here's another weird thing that I noticed as they were walking, like, down the stairs, right? 2 things. 1, Fisher is feeling tense, but he says he can also feel ELROY's tension. He says, I could feel the tension pouring off of him, though I felt it strongly enough that I confused it with my own. Why? Why do you feel why do you feel it so much? He's in the front of the line, you're in the back of the line. You don't feel Hayden's?
I don't trust ELROY.
Carrion's?
I don't trust ELROY.
It's so weird. And then also, why does the amount of stairs matter?
I don't think they really matter, right? Because they're going down the stairs and Hayden says something like, oh my gosh, how many stairs are there? Right.
1,223.
ELROY's probably done those stairs so many times that I don't know, maybe he just counted them over the years and was like, this many.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think you're reading too far into that one.
I might be. It's not a first that I've read too far into something that didn't matter. But there are 1,223 stairs.
This isn't Silver Flames. Down and down and down. Around and around and around and around. Shut up! Yes. Shut up! Oh, stop going to the stairs.
I want you to re-listen to that book now that you've had it.
No.
Here's why. Hear me out. Hear me out. Cassidy, I learned recently that Sarah J. Maas wrote that book and wrote Nesta specifically when she was dealing with postpartum depression. And I see it differently as a mom. And you have not read that book since before you became a mom. And I wonder, I just have a thought on if you listen to it or read it again, would you see Nesta in a different light now that you are a mom? I don't know. I just have a thought.
The thing is, though, I have a question. I don't know if this matters. Right. She had postpartum depression. I personally had prenatal depression.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I think the feeling of isolation,
or maybe just the mom feeling, maybe is what she's talking about.
The mom feeling, not having maybe as many friends or community as you did, either during or after or before your baby, right? The feeling of loneliness, feel of people trying to help you, but they don't know how to help you, and they can't help you in the right way.
You know what? I will take you up on that, and I will listen. I'm not gonna read it. Actually, you have my copy of it. I gave you my copy to bedazzle. But I will re-listen to it, and I'll let you know.
You should. Give it a thought. Go into it with that in mind. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't make a difference. Maybe that's why I connected to Nesta so... One of the reasons that I connected to Nesta so heavily in the beginning. Other than the fact that I, have been... You know what I mean? In my life, I have been through a lot of times where I felt really lonely or I felt really isolated, especially during my postpartum time where I was alone.
Right.
Not by anybody's fault. Just...
Right.
I was, on this, weird emotional island by myself. And I think we've talked about this before, the thought of physically opening the front door and stepping one step outside was too much. Mm-hmm. You know? So I just, I want to see where you fall on that. Or our listeners too, right? So if you guys have read Silver Flames, or maybe if you read it and you like Nesta, I wanted to, are you a mom or not? Did that make a difference for you? Or maybe, have you read it and you're not a mom and you read it, what were your thoughts? Or if you have, decided to become a mother between reading it, if you read it again, what are your thoughts afterwards? Does that make a difference for you guys? So
it's a good challenge.
Not a Brimstone thing, but also, yes, a challenge, a question, a thought. Uh-huh. Another weird thing about Kingfisher not paying attention to the details. Items are laying around this area, right? So there's stacks of discarded pieces of armor, the coins, the chalices, the trunks overflowing with all manner of metal goods. And finally, his eyes went huge, recessed pool at the center of the cavern. I have a question. Mm-hmm. They are poor as fuck. These children are literally starving. Mm-hmm. They are thirsty. Mm-hmm. Just below this forge are an unspeakable amount of things that could have fed them for their entire lives. I know that ELROY's I didn't want to bring to light anything. I didn't want to be suspicious. One piece of metal? One piece of anything? One coin?
But would that have brought attention to them?
I don't know.
They already talk about in book 1 how he has to work so secretively, right? Making all these weapons for people. But probably have Quicksilver in them. Was he working secretly
because he was actually working with Quicksilver?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Not because he was helping a war, necessarily.
Right, I don't know.
It's all weird to me. So, again, so back to Kingfisher being distracted. Once again, for this whole fucking book.
This whole chapter is just ELROY, Fisher distracted. ELROY, Fisher distracted.
Yeah, Fisher has a blindfold on. Dude's got a face mask on. He's, walking down these stairs I don't know anything. I don't know what he's doing. So he says, I'd been so distracted by the contents of his secret trove that I hadn't even noticed him being ELROY, leaving us by the time he had lit half the torches in their sconces and returned to us. I'm sorry. Fey warrior, who knows where everyone is and everything is and where the exits are and his enemies, You were so distracted by treasure that you didn't notice a stranger, a new face, first of all, lighting, walking around the room that you've never been in before. No.
Something's sus.
Something is sus. Something is sus, and I don't like it.
Is it the fact that Saris isn't there?
Do you think he's distracted by, like, being in love?
No, I think he's more on edge and more in tune with paying attention when Saris is there, right? Because all of his focus is protecting her, loving her. Have we seen him? In book 1, we don't really see him without Saris.
Only the bonus chapters.
Oh, yeah, right. So is he a little more relaxed, maybe, when it's just him? Because he's like, I'm going to be fine if something happens. Versus he's always paying attention to her because of their, like, bond. I don't know.
I want to say, yes, I love that thought. And the reason why I rebuttal that thought is because when, in the future, we'll talk about this in later on as well, when he goes back and he finally meets with Foley, the entire room is described in detail by Kingfisher. Saris is nowhere to be found. And he's like, this looks like this, and this detail here, and this there. Like,
maybe it's just him being in Zilvarin.
Maybe
like it
should be the opposite.
It's got to be something.
Like, you just got to this weird place that you absolutely hate. You know it's super dangerous.
Right.
Why are you not paying attention to anything? It's wild. I don't know. I feel like there has to be something about it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. There has to be something going on that's affecting him in Zilvarin.
And then this is where the Quicksilver starts talking to him. And because he's like, it's the first of its kind that I'd seen, recessed so that its steps led down into the still, solid surface of the pool below. And it says, you came, you came, you came. And then that's like,
and that's
where it ends. But, yeah. Insane. I have so many questions.
Chapter 26, In the End. Saris goes for a dip in the Quicksilver, and it enjoys its time insulting and threatening her. Oh, and she still seals her runes with it.
The bet. Wee! So yes, as the Quicksilver is talking to Kingfisher in the previous chapter and saying, you came, you came, you came, it's also talking to Saris saying, you came, you came, you came. Say the same thing. Wild. So that was a lot. And so also one thing that's noted, and I don't know if this matters, but I feel like it might. So in Amontreath, right where she is at now, it says around the Quicksilver pool there is a long jagged crack shaped like a lightning bolt in the obsidian forked off towards the door. What happened? What happened?
I don't know.
Who be striking these pools? Zeus? Hello?
Zeus isn't there, okay? First off, no. We don't need another set of gods.
Surprise! It's actually a whole new set of gods. Yeah, I thought that description and detail was really interesting. And this is the first pool that we've seen that it's been noted that there's damage.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't know. So, and she's, like, questioning it, right? She's like, is this the only thing that would save me is entering this pool right now? Was this the key to my magic? Was this something I had to do to bond to the Quicksilver to show it that I trusted it? And so I want to bring up something really quick that I was under the impression of, because of our interview with Callie before Brimstone came out, I was under the impression that her and Heron Captain Heron might fight once more. They didn't.
No.
I was like, God damn it.
He doesn't show up.
We got off that interview and I was like, oh yeah, she's totally gonna fight Heron again. No.
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 Good try.
I was pretty convinced. I was like, oh yeah. No. So I just wanted to put that out there. I thought that at some point he would come in the book again. He did not. But neither did Madra, and I expected her to show up too. So there's
That's true.
So.
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
So the Quicksilver speaks to Saris when she's in the pool. And this was really interesting. And I brought all these quotes in because this whole conversation was fucking wild. It was not the Quicksilver talking to her by any means, shape, or form.
I think it is.
Really? Oh, I
don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so it says, Half-breed, who are you to be blessed by us? And she says, I am an alchemist. My name is Saris Fane. And they go, your name is Ruination. The voice snorted, blight, curse worker. You do not deserve to live. And she says, I do. There are others. It says, there are others more worthy. None of them stand before you now, is what she says. And she says, I stand before you. I am worthy. And it says, only the unworthy seek power. She goes, I don't seek power. I didn't ask for this. I seek peace for my friends, for my people to be safe. And it says, and you would employ your power to achieve that end? And she goes, there was something sly in the speaker's tone. I couldn't think of it as the Quicksilver. It was something more than sentient portal magic, and it was trying to trick me. And that right there told me that it's not the Quicksilver speaking to her. It's something else speaking through the Quicksilver to her.
Question, before you continue these quotes of this conversation.
Yes.
In the book, because it's been a minute since I listened to this chapter specifically through. Mm-hmm. When it is doing that voice, is it doing the Quicksilver voice like normal? Or is it just like a different...
You are a pretender.
Yeah. So it is the Quicksilver voice that they normally do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it is a normal voice, but it's different. So it's just... Yeah, it's weird. And obviously it talks about, like, what will you give up, right? Would you die? And she's like, yes. She's like, would you kill? Yes, all the things. Would you give up most that is dear to you? She's like, no, I can't. I won't sacrifice him. Which, obviously, we know Kingfisher. But then it says, good. The speaker purred, good. And she's like, wait, good? And it says, every alchemist must have something they are afraid to lose. The pathway is clear, the speaker declared. Receive this gift in all fear and trembling. In the end, it will be your end. And here's where I'm bringing it back to previous chapter, The Blood in the Milk. Because they call her Kingkiller, the Last Tide, Namebreaker, and Day's End. Don't think that was the Quicksilver talking to her at all. I think she was in the Quicksilver, but I think some other being and or entity was speaking to her. My guess is a god, right? Even though they technically are not tethered to her anymore.
What god, though?
I don't know.
Or can the witches?
I don't think it was... I don't know if witches have any connection to the Quicksilver. Unsure.
That's what I don't know.
We know that...
We don't know anything in this book. Every question we have, we're just going to be like, don't know. Anyways, next question. Thanks a lot, Callie.
In the previous books, I am pretty sure that the Quicksilver has a mind of its own, yes, but I also think it is a third-party communicator where someone can like dial into it, like on the other end of the line, like, hello?
Like a ham radio?
She's like, hello?
They're like, let me just get on that wavelength. Hold on.
Yes. Because I'm pretty sure that conversations that she has had in the past through the Quicksilver in book 1 have been with Zareth, the god of chaos or change, and or Balin Mithin. I'm set on that.
I can see some of them, but at this point, right,
not all of
they
them,
shouldn't be able to.
They shouldn't be able to see her as she's walking through, but what actually happens in the Quicksilver? Time is different. Time is changing. That is the one pathway besides dreaming within a dream to get to the gods. So when else would they be able to intervene and talk to her?
That's a good question.
Except for when she's in the Quicksilver.
I need to know, does Callie Hart like Doctor Who?
That's a good question. She mentioned a lot of Lord of the Rings, and she mentioned a lot of Star Wars.
I feel like a lot of fantasy authors in general go off of Lord of the Rings. Like, Lord of the Rings is such an influential part of fantasy. Star Wars, I feel like, is also the same. Star Wars, the idea of light and dark and things like that is used all the time. And the two suns and everything like that, right? Because,
I did promise to take her to Disney if she ever shows up in Orlando, so we can take her to the Star Wars area.
I'll take her. And also, I have questions.
I will take you in exchange. There's a bargain. You will see the Star Wars. However, you must answer 3 things.
Gosh.
Yeah. That's wild. The whole, like, conversation. That's the whole chapter is her in the Quicksilver.
Right.
Basically getting her runes sealed, being accepted by whatever that was. I would have only taken it as the Quicksilver if she wouldn't have said otherwise. But the fact that she was like, this is not the Quicksilver, this is something different, tells me that it's literally something different. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'd be like, cool, Quicksilver, amazing.
Yeah.
And it talks different than the Quicksilver does. Like, it sounds the same, when we listen to it, it sounds the same, but if you're looking at the words and reading the words, instead of, like, repeating itself, which, like, it does a lot, the echo that it gives, right, it's like, half, and it's never once ever called her a half-breed, even after she was changed. Even when it made the bargain. Mm-hmm. Right? She, like, gave it a piece of her blood and a memory. It was never, like, half-breed, make a bargain with us.
True.
Which tells me that it's something with a different opinion. I don't know.
That's a good theory.
Chapter 27.
Chapter 27. What's done is done. That's a good chapter name. Again, ELROY has more secrets. Okay, who is he? Gretchen Wieners?
First big plot point. ELROY is like, we're metal workers. Who else was going to do it? Which I can see way back in the day, Finran walking around being like, who's going to help me take care of this? Who's going to work with the Quicksilver? Blah, 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 blah. Right. Ah, yes, the metal workers. I can see that being a common, like, XYZ thing.
Is he the only forge in Zilvarin?
Yes. As far as we have been told.
That seems sus to me. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. Especially with them being split up into wards. I feel like each ward would have a forge. Each ward might.
Each ward may. We have never really explored the other wards in detail. We know there's tunnels underneath. And we know, like, the main area, like the hub, they call it, where, like, Madra lives. But we've never, like, really gone to any of the other ones. So there could be forges across the entire circle. Mm-hmm. There could be multiple pools. There could be a pool in each ward.
Maybe.
We don't know. They say, this is the largest Quicksilver pool I've ever seen. The amount of Quicksilver in one place is unheard. And he's like, we've been adding to it for years. Every time a piece of metal laced with Quicksilver came across the threshold of our forge, we refined it, pulled it out of the weapon or a piece of jewelry, and set it aside. Mm-hmm. Okay. How the fuck did you know? How'd you know?
This is where I think there's wards on his forge, right? Because if they cross that line, if there's a ward that tells them, just like there's no way the shadows were in there, there has to be something within that forge that was put up to be able to do that. Also, question, in book 1, when she has to pull Quicksilver out of things, she has to melt it down, and she has to will the Quicksilver to, like, separate, does she not? Or does it separate on its own? Didn't she have to, like, will it to change states?
Yes. She had to will it from a solid to a liquid. And then
so how is ELROY melting these things down and pulling the Quicksilver out into a liquid, putting it in the pool all these years, but the pool is solid?
Right.
Questions. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I agree. I know she had to refine the silver itself, the regular silver.
Right.
To, like, be able to make more relics. So
how is he doing that?
I don't know. And he says, I knew Ceres had something to do with it. The girl could never resist touching weapons that didn't belong to her. I figured she pulled the sword out. And he's like, so you knew about the sword? And he's like, well, naturally.
Duh.
I'm sorry. What? And he's like, Solace, the sword that kept the doorways closed. The Fae sword. I've never seen it in person, of course, but there were drawings when I was a boy.
And this is where the drawings come in. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and these drawings are gone. They're all gone.
Right.
There are no drawings to reference to.
This is where we know that everything that's happening is not just coming from Madra. There are other family lines that we don't know about, like ELROY's, that had all this information and are just hiding it by choice. Yep. What the fuck?
And they just knew about Solace and knew about this sword in the pool.
Right.
And you know what's interesting to me is that he says Solace, the sword that kept the doorways closed. He doesn't say Solace, the sword that Madra used to close the doors.
Yeah, because book 1, they're like Madra.
All the time. Madra closed the doors. Madra closed the pool. Madra used
She trapped us here.
But he just like, oh yeah, the sword that kept the doorways closed. Instead of, oh, the sword that Madra used to close the doorways.
Do you think Finran closed it?
She admits to doing it, though, doesn't she? She's like,
yeah, but that's a cover.
That we're over it. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, maybe but she says shit all the time.
That's true. Maybe Finran did close the door.
Not who we think she is.
No, she's definitely not. Yeah, it's really... Yeah, so the pictures and all the drawings, things like that, he says they burned up in a fire when I was about 15. My father was fond of an afternoon whiskey or 5. It was the only thing that helped the voices. He fell asleep one afternoon and the hearth raged out of control, gutted the ground floor of the forge. The smoke nearly killed him. The Quicksilver? Are those the voices? Because they kept fucking with it and it got into his skin like it did to Kingfisher. How did it not immediately kill you? You're not Heron, you're not protected by Madra and whatever fucking magic she has.
I'm thinking of it, well, I mean, I know we've thought of it as like mercury, right? Mercury poisoning. Yeah. You start to go crazy.
Right.
But if you have small doses over a period of time seeping into you.
Your mind.
Yeah. I would think.
Why is ELROY okay? He's an old
because
man.
He doesn't he say that? Yeah, see, he said, that's when I stopped refining the Quicksilver. Working that demon metal leads to madness and death. I saw what it did to my father. I didn't see what it did to my grandfather. And from what he told me, it wasn't pretty. So he doesn't do it anymore.
Because they knew it was doing something to them.
Right. He was like, that thing's fucked up. I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
And he might have when he was younger, but maybe not as much.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm. And he says, I couldn't risk having those papers here anymore, aka the drawings. Mm-hmm. Not when they could damn her and the rest of us, along with her, too. So, yes, I tossed them into the fire. That's when I stopped refining the Quicksilver. Blah, 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 with the metals. Yes. So, what, again, was in there? And even Kingfisher's like, what was in there? Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just so interesting.
Also, he says, right, that he stopped working with the Quicksilver. And he says he does that partially because Ceres needed someone and he wasn't going to abandon her.
Right.
Did he just
didn't
care?
Want to lose his mind?
Did he just care so much about Ceres because he was like in love with her mom? Or like why did he think that she was just so important that he would stop doing what his whole family line has done?
Because he had those drawings, right? It says, again, like I had those papers I couldn't risk having those papers here anymore. Not when they could damn her and the rest of us along with her too. So yes, I tossed them into the fire. So we know that he kept Ceres close to like protect her or whatever. And then he had to push them away once their mom died, supposedly. Which I don't
know why.
Excuse. Your mom died. Let me kick you out of the street. No.
Yeah, I don't get that.
That's not a good excuse. You've already burned all the papers. You've stopped refining the Quicksilver. Mm-hmm. And like, if the guards come in here, the guards are going to feel something anyways because your weird forge has magic around it. Ceres' presence is not going to make a difference, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's just so, I don't know. And then also, to kind of change it a little bit off of ELROY, we're like back to Kingfisher, and he mentions something that we still don't have an answer to. He says, after I figured out if and how Madra was sending the infected feeders from Sylvarin, this line tells me that, again, we don't really know.
We don't know anything.
We know some things.
Uh-huh. Barely.
We know little things. But we don't ever really find out if Madra did any of this stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. And then as they're like leaving into the pool, ELROY casually is like, oh, I'm sure I'll be hearing from you soon enough.
The fuck do you mean?
Yeah. Wild.
Yeah. And the rest of the book, they don't go back to talking to ELROY, so
no,
he's got to come back in book 3.
Yep.
But for what?
And if I remember correctly, does Ceres even mention him when they get back?
No.
She's solely set on Hayden still, but also she doesn't really mention ELROY and like all of the shit that he knows. We know Kingfisher told her. Right?
Does he?
I would think so. He like updates her on everything. I'm sure he was like, oh, your buddy ELROY is pretty fucking wild. He's not going to keep that from her.
I just don't remember the conversation happening.
I think it's like one line where she's like,
yeah, or it's something that they just brush over.
They brush over it entirely, which also is weird. Mm-hmm. Ugh, I don't know. All right, chapter 28.
How you say that word?
I knew you were going to ask that.
Seneschal. I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, I was close. Seneschal. Can we just keep, like, regular words, please? Fantasy gets me with the words. When I'm reading this, it's just like, so. Anyways.
Yes. Moving on.
Alright, chapter 28, Seneschal. Bellicon's bitches show up through the Stannisroth Quicksilver pool and try to threaten Ceres. Big mistake.
God swords are doing things I never saw coming, and these motherfuckers are about to get curb stomped.
This is a good chapter.
This was such a good chapter.
Yeah. So,
in previous chapters, we know that, like, the Quicksilver is talking to Ceres and said, like, you came. At the same time, it's telling Kingfisher, you came. So when somebody goes through the portal, obviously, I think maybe it's just me, I feel like we all thought that Kingfisher was about to come out the portal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then, bam, JK, not Kingfisher. Actually, It's an asshole, and it's other assholes. So now the room is full of assholes. So this guy who shows up out of the portal, he says, you not bow before a king creature, which I thought was funny because as we go through this chapter, we learn that this guy is not a king.
He's not a king.
He's literally just a guy.
He's literally like, Bellicon's bitch.
Yes, and he's like, do not bow before a king. Bro, You're not a king.
You're literally nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put it with your car. All right, Orias, you're literally just a guy. Mm-hmm. Yes, so he's like, thank you for so graciously leaving the door open for us. We've been waiting for an invitation into Amontreath for a very long time. You may remember me. My name is Orias. I am sentinel to the king. Were they just standing at a pool waiting? For how long? They were just like
not why did we both do the same thing? It's moving. It's moving.
It's moving. Go get him. It's almost. Belicon's like, you're gonna stand and you're gonna stare at that pool until it's open. Weeks go by and he's like, my eyes are getting tired.
They have
eye drops. This show is not that scripted. What's happening? Asterisk drops eye drops in eye. Asterisk. Asterisk make weird face at invisible portal. Asterisk. Wow.
We didn't plan any of this, I promise.
Well, I'm glad we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, I guess.
That's hilarious. So, one thing that's noted in this chapter is that the Belicon's guards look weird. It says their eyes were sharp, pupils dilated wide, leaving no room for their irises. Why are they on drugs? Why are they...
I don't think they're on drugs. They're oath-bound to him. I think they're oath-bound.
What does that matter? Like, they've never met Kingfisher, Lorith, Redfist, all oath-bound. It's never mentioned that about their eyes.
They're oath-bound in a different way, right? They're oath-bound to him through the rock, right? Isn't that the rock thing where they cut their hand, drips on the rock?
Yeah, as a fae, yes. Right. They've all done the rock. That's that's like across the board.
Yes, but...
For all of his soldiers.
I feel like anybody who works for Belicon is, like, actually oathbound, probably by, like, blood magic or some crazy-ass magic that Belicon has to him. To be like, you can never betray me. It could just be blood magic, though, too. And he just is like, you are completely and utterly under my control. Just like Malcolm. I mean, Malcolm's vampires have to listen to him for anything that he said.
Yeah, I mean,
it could just be the kind of bond, or, like... way that he found them.
The description of eyes within this book is heavy.
Yeah, because they talk about Foley's.
Yes, multiple times they talk about Foley's eyes. And now they're talking about these eyes. Mm-hmm. So that it's just... It gave me a red flag.
That's fair.
Maybe a yellow flag. I was like, why you look like that? I don't think it's adrenaline.
No. I think it has to do with Belicon's magic.
It's very possible. So we also learned in this moment that the food that people are like, that the Highbloods are eating off of is sent from the Winter Palace area. Does that even matter now?
I don't know. Because is he putting stuff in the food?
I don't know. Like, he's sending people over. He's sending Fae over to be thralls for the Highbloods. Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's mentioned that, like, that's where it's coming from. But my question is that even something to look into or worry about now that the Blood Core is, like, null and void?
I don't know. That's a good question.
They're either dead or they're free.
Yeah, it probably doesn't matter now.
It's like a red herring kind of thing.
Yeah.
So either way, Belicon wants 3 things, right? Mm-hmm. Cerys to be his alchemist and swear an oath before the stone. Mm-hmm. He wants Kingfisher's execution and Everlane returned. And that was the one thing that I thought was really odd. I'm like, hey, you want Kingfisher dead? You want her as an alchemist? Fine, whatever. And he's like, I want my daughter returned. What?
Never once have you given a shit about your daughter.
Why do you want her back? What is it about Everlane that you need?
To be a vessel? I don't know. Is she even there still?
That seems like an interesting ask. And I think we can... some might brush it off to be like, oh, that's his daughter, like, or whatever. But, like, I think there's something
But he
more.
Hated her. Did he? He didn't want her. He didn't want her.
So we've heard. But she was quickly used as a bargaining chip. But how?
She's evil.
I don't know. Okay. And then here, moving forward on this entirely, this is a thing I lost my fucking mind on this week. I researched for so long on this topic. And I even went over this with you previously while we were on the phone.
You did, yeah.
Okay. So we are reminded that the men are oath-bound to Belicon, right? As we know, right? We have Renfis of the Arithian. We have Lorith of the Broken Spire. Fisher of the Aegean Gates. What about Danya? Danya of what? Danya who? I looked everywhere. In Brimstone and Quicksilver. Danya does not have a surname. Is she not oath-bound to Belicon? We know that she's in Lupercalia.
That's a good question. We didn't talk about that theory.
Is she not oath-bound? It doesn't mention it, right? Why
is that just a male thing?
Is it? Yeah, but then the surname thing doesn't. It makes it
right.
makes a question because you have Adina, Kingfisher's mom of the Seven Towers. She has a surname. Right. Danya has been in war a long time. She has done a lot of things. Whether or not we like her or don't like her, we cannot push aside the fact that she is a great warrior and has sacrificed a lot of things. Why doesn't she have a surname?
This is my theory. It has nothing to do with me not liking her. If they get these surnames from something large, crazy, important in their lifespan, right, happening at that battle or at that place or whatever it may be, Danya is a good warrior, right? She probably kicks ass every time she goes somewhere. But is she just following orders and being a warrior and doing what she's supposed to do? And that's not outside of the realm of, yeah, she's really good at what she fucking does. But, like, is that a reason to give her a name? You know, because, like, Fisher's with the Adjun Gate, crazy shit happened, right? That are very important that all depends on him. Same thing with Renfist, right? We find out at the end that, like, there's a lot of things that are binding him to that place that goes with his name. Lorith, we don't know that story.
Right.
But has Danya had one of those yet? Is she going to get it in the third book?
Right. And the God Sword that she originally had before it was given to Lorith was handed down to her via family heritage.
It's not hers.
So maybe she has been
she hasn't had that warrior. Moment. Yeah.
I just thought it was so interesting. And again, it's not mentioned that she is oathbound.
Does Foley have a surname?
It doesn't say. Nor for, like, Corix either. Or Burrell.
I mean, you know, maybe they didn't get to that point yet.
I don't know. It really, like, stressed me out. I was like, hold on.
I wonder if it's that serious or if it's just something that you're, like, one of your theories that you're very picked up on that you're like, I have to know the answer to.
Maybe. If we talk to Callie again, I feel like I would ask her, like,
I think you would.
Is the lack of Danya having a surname relevant?
Yeah.
I think that's not a spoiler question.
No.
That's a yes or no.
Like that's a fair question to ask.
Yeah. Is it relevant? Should I worry about this?
Right.
I need to sleep at night.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. But what I do know is that Bellicon knows pretty much everything that is happening, including that her runes are not sealed. Who all knows about this, right? Because I feel like there's got to be a mole somewhere besides just the Highbloods knowing.
But her runes are sealed.
One is now sealed, but that's it. And it was just sealed
that's fair.
Right as she got out of the pool.
That's
the
fair.
Brimstone
That's
one's
fair.
not sealed.
I was like, hold on though, because one of them is sealed now. Okay,
just
that's fair.
Sealed just now.
Yes, I see.
So how does Bellicon know this? Who is telling Bellicon things? I made a list. Here is my list of suspects. And, like, I don't want to say just some high blood because they don't know that her runes aren't sealed. Right? No one is, like, shouting this from the rooftop that her runes aren't sealed. Or maybe this is just common knowledge and they're all, like, talking about it. But it's not really mentioned that they are. So the hint that there's a mole within the court tells me. So here's what I knew. Saris knew. Carrion knew. Fisher knew. Lorith, Renfist, Danya, ? I'm assuming that Danya knows, but I also am assuming that Danya might not know. I don't know what all they tell Danya.
Right.
Foley knows. Adina knows. Algit knows. Guru, the cat, he knows. And the Hazrax knows.
You're missing two people that I just thought
I'm missing two people? Who am I missing?
Tal, yes. Actually,
Tal knows.
I was not thinking
Tal
of Tal.
is now a suspect.
Ishabal. She's been around for such a long time. You're telling me that she can't look and probably know that those are not sealed. And she's a little suspicious.
Yeah, Isabel, I didn't think about that.
Gosh, I can't think of her name. She's the healer.
Telena.
Uh-huh.
You know, that's interesting that you say Telena because when I was reading, it brings in her mate or partner or husband a little bit, and we know that some of his interests are blood magic.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's weird, moving on. But I'm going to keep you in my eye. I don't think it's Isabel. Here's two reasons why. A, she already had her, like, prime moment of betrayal, first of all. And second of all, she's not really at Amentreth, right?
That's fair. But I feel like she is so old and knows of magic and whatnot that she could probably look and see that she knows they're not sealed.
But she's still considered a fairly young witch.
That's true. But she probably knows more than most.
Yeah. I'm going to put Talena's husband in here. He doesn't know a lot of what's going on, but I also got a weird vibe that he was.
But he's there.
Like a split second. And he's like, oh yeah, I study blood magics. And I was like, that's weird. And he says, for my own interests. What does that mean? What are you interested in? Why are you interested in that? Yeah, just on my off time. In my mind, Algit is a very big suspect for me.
Yeah. And she's a witch.
Yes, she is a witch. That is true. I think she's going to come back again in the next book. But then also put
for
Guru,
sure.
Because Guru is a mystery to me. And I think that cat... Here I go again. I think that cat is more important than we know.
It's not just a cat.
It's not just a cat.
It's Kingfisher's mom.
It's his dad.
Sticks? Is that you?
I was wrong on one theory, okay, but I had a lot of receipts, to be fair.
That's okay. A lot of people thought that, too.
I was convinced. I don't know. So, insight into why Madra and Bellicon don't like alchemists, which we have known that they did not, right?
Right.
And we know that they don't like the alchemists and they got rid of them, but we also know that Malcolm did not help get rid of the alchemists, as far as I am aware, and also saved the library that had information about the alchemists. So, it says that her kind were dangerous. No power that vast should have ever been gifted to one group of people. And then this is like the guy talking about it. He says, my king discovered how to limit your magic a long time ago. Our traditions have lasted for far longer than your kind did. Every soldier in the king's army is equipped with a null blade on the day they complete their training. Good luck fending off 5 of those alchemists. So it's interesting that we only are seeing these null blades now because Bellicon has known that Ceres is an alchemist. And even and nothing was brought to the ending of the first book when they're all fighting. So I was like, I don't know. Anyways, Solus is now split into 2 and has not only the power split in 2, it's double the power. And not Solus's power, have to accommodate the new split weapons. This is twice the power, and she says it was electrifying. But then when she slams the swords back together, they literally become one again. So does she have 1 sword, or does she have 3 swords?
I don't know.
I don't know. Wild. And also, Ceres is now, projecting energy magic, because it says his, which is Carrion's face, was bathed in blue as a giant icon formed in the air in front of me, projecting from my hand. It was my shield. The interlocking runes were an exact copy of the sigil on the back of my hand. Most of the icon's lines were dull, apart from one rune, a circle bisecting a cross with a line cutting through it at the top. It blazed with magic, hovering there, waiting.
So I don't see this as projection magic, as another piece of magic. I see it as Doctor Strange. Have you seen Doctor Strange?
Yeah, where he's
Right, so when he pulls up his power, you see it in front. And because it's connected to her hands now, I think it just does that. The runes, when they're connected to her. That's what it's going to look like.
Okay, I did something so weird. I don't know if I want it on this episode, but I'm going to show it to you anyways. So, Callie Hart I was on Instagram like a normal person, scrolling my feed, when Callie Hart posted that she got hand tattoos. And she got hand tattoos.
Did she get the runes?
The runes. So I took a screenshot. I know it's so fucking weird. I'm sorry.
Well, why is it weird to show it on here?
Because I took a screenshot of Callie Hart's hand. It's weird.
But she posted about it. It's fine.
So I'll see if I can show it.
Is that?
I think that's it, right? It says.
I mean, yes, but is it supposed to be?
Cross.
Are they supposed to be that small? Because in my mind, I'm
it's
imagining.
Huge. It's on the back of her hand.
Yeah, I'm imagining it here.
Yeah, no, it is on the back of Sarah's hand, but on Callie's hand, it's on her finger.
Yes, okay. I was like,
yeah.
Hold on, am I reading this wrong?
Across with a line cutting through at the top, right?
Yeah.
And then what the heck is that rune? What's that one?
Is that
this
the Brimstone one? I don't know.
Maybe. So yeah, I took a picture of it, like a fucking creep.
Oh my goodness.
Post it if you want. I'm a little ashamed. I was like, that looks like evidence for my podcast. Something is wrong with me.
Chapter 29. Fortunes of the Universe. Ceres heals herself and is made of Quicksilver. Archer crashes out over a bird statue. And Kingfisher collects another tattoo and earns a new name. A lot of things happen this episode.
There's a lot of question marks in that.
Yeah, there sure is.
So, yes. Starting off strong was something that was interesting. Back to Taylena. She is unable to heal Ceres. My question is, has she healed Ceres since her transition?
I don't know.
Also, don't know and or do not recall. But she said she tried to heal me when we first arrived at Kalish, but her magic had felt like water bending and rolling off my skin. It hadn't felt wrong per se, just strange. So she still had like gashes and stuff, but she was also healing on her own. So I just thought,
think it has to do with the Quicksilver and not so much her being like half fae, half vampire.
Maybe. That's very possible.
Because she did heal her, actually. Didn't she?
When did she heal her? I don't know.
Didn't she, like, go in and help her through the transition? Does she?
I feel like I should remember, but I don't remember. Good question.
I feel like this has to do with the Quicksilver, probably. Because she's healing herself.
Yeah.
And also, we know that Tal mentioned way earlier in the book that she may have powers of rejuvenating, like, herself. Or in general. And he's like, those will come in handy.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting that, like, it was, like, one of the things that Taylena couldn't do.
Right.
We also get a glimpse into Adina's favorite possession, which is the kingfisher, like, ornament that is on her dresser. And Archer loses his fucking mind when someone tries to touch it, another little fire sprite. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? He's like, put that down. Like, and then Sarah's like, it's not a big deal. And he's like, no, you don't understand. Like, this was her, like, prized possession. This was the one thing that she loved. Like, nobody should touch it. And I was like, that's so... We know that the ornament becomes important later on because, like, there's a letter or, like, a page under it. You know what I mean? So, like, it is important, but... And we know that it's obviously of a kingfisher, and that's, like, why she named her son what she named him. But I just felt like it was interesting that, like, that one piece of whatever was so important to her.
And he says she doesn't like anybody to touch it. Is that because there's a page under it and she doesn't want it to get lost?
I thought Ceres tucked the page under it. It was like the first page that the bird died.
I thought Ceres finds a page under it at the end.
Oh my god, now I feel like an idiot. I feel like I should know. I should know all these things.
TBD. Don't listen to me. I read for vibes. So... I may have vibed wrong with this kingfisher.
Maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll come back to that. I feel like I should know. I don't know. I'm a little embarrassed. Moving on.
I'm pretty sure that when she comes back in the dream world, the kingfisher's there, and she goes and picks it up, and there's a page under it.
And I thought it was the very first page of, like, the bird that died, like, out of the library, that she tucked into her pocket. And I thought she put it underneath there for later, and then that was what actually had Kingfisher's real name on it.
That'd be the first page of the book. I don't know. We're thinking too much into this. But I think you're right.
So, over to the swords, right? Each sword that Solace had turned into when he split into two has a name. Aramar means mercy, and Selenar means honor. And so the question is, in the book, via Kingfisher, were these, like, traits that Ceres, like, was blessed with? Or, like, why were these names chosen by the gods?
Right.
Because she did not get to name her swords.
She didn't. So, it sounds like, in the book, from how I read it, is that when we find out that she, like, tells Fisher about this, and Fisher's like, oh, these are what these words mean. I think it's like the gods or the swords blessed themselves with those names. I don't think she personally picked them out, but I think they chose that based on her actions of how she uses the swords. I think they were just blessed.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. But it is weird that everybody else gets to pick the names of them. And except she doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. It was weird to me. So then we kind of circle back to being oath-bound once again, where Kingfisher's like, Orias was just trying to scare you. It says that Bellicon can command until he's blue in the face, but he can't touch them here, like where they're at now in Kalish and Amontreath. So it says that he's like, Arias was just trying to scare you. Bellicon can command us until he's blue in the face, but he said he can't touch us here. So Kalish and Amantre, there's all wards and stuff that are preventing Bellicon from coming here and preventing his compulsion from reaching them. Mm-hmm. As long as we stay here in Kalish or Amatreus, we're all fine. He said, and even if we do leave these lands, we would have to be in his physical presence for him to command us. And there's no way he's leaving the Winter Palace. I don't know. I get that, and I get that he can't go there, and I get that there's wards, but I also feel like Bellicon has this weird dark magic.
Bellicon has a lot of magic that is not explained.
Do you think Bellicon's a demon god?
But then we're back to the argument of who are the demon gods?
Mm-hmm. We don't know.
Or is he just a demon? But then that would mean that he worked with Kingfisher's father, which it doesn't sound like. Well, probably.
If Kingfisher's dad is a demon god, but I don't think that Styx is a demon god. Because I don't think that they would hail to a demon god.
Right. Well, there's got to be a god that takes care of that stuff, just like Hades, right? Hades is god of the underworld. There's got to be a god that manages the issues. Does that make him a demon god, though?
I need the demon god supervisor, please. I don't mean to be a Karen, but I'm so sorry about this. I just actually need to speak to your supervisor. No, you're right. Like, there's got to be something. Yeah. No, you're totally right. So it's interesting. So now that Ceres went through the portal, and everything is like her Quicksilver rune is sealed. She now has literal silver running through her veins. And Kingfisher's like, "Do you feel okay? Like, are you doing all right?" Because he's like, "Ugh," and she's like, "Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. It feels like magic. Does it feel painful?" And he's like, "Oh, all right, sure." And that freaking killed me because he was like, "Are you feeling okay?" She's like, "Yeah, no, I'm good."
I mean, imagine his point of view. Oh, for sure. Right?
Yes.
I have questions about this, though, because every time she seals a rune, is it going to affect her biology? Right? Is all of her blood now replaced with Quicksilver? And also, is she now going to become this all-powerful, godlike thing?
I think no and yes. I think no, I don't think Quicksilver is through her entire body. I don't think all of her blood is Quicksilver. I think that it does flow with her blood. Like, I think the magic is flowing through her body, right? Especially in her arms, at least, because the runes are on her arms and her hands.
Right.
So I think that that's primarily where the silver is. I don't know about Brimstone. Like, when she seals her Brimstone rune, will then she be able to create and or use Brimstone?
Right.
And yes, I do think that she is going to be like an all-powerful thing.
Suspicious.
Very suspicious.
A self-made god.
I have a lot of questions still, obviously. So we also know that Fisher gets a new tattoo, but it doesn't tell us what it is, and also I don't remember. So if you remember, that'd be great. It says, "When Fisher came moments after me, I watched, amazed, as a swirl of ink rippled away from the god bindings that were around my wrist and arm, transferring from my hand to his. It didn't stop there. I turned in the circle of his arms, watching it as it rose over his biceps until it settled on his skin just below his collarbone." I don't remember what tattoo it was.
I don't know either. Does it say?
Not in this chapter, it is not. When I read through the books, I'm sure I'll figure it out. But as of right now, I do not remember. But he got another tattoo. So basically, every time they think dirty things, they get tattoos. And I wish that it worked that way. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't.
No.
And then she calls him her Prince of Shadows.
Well, isn't that just right on the nose?
It sure is. And we looked over it for the first time.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, Prince of Shadows, so cute. Moving on. And she didn't even know.
Well,
ridiculous.
You got us good, Callie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, throughout this entire fucking book. Alright, girl, chapter 30.
Chapter 30, Leash. Everlane has a moment from The Exorcist. Carrion doesn't lose his god sword, and everyone's acting suspicious, including Danya and Zovina.
Yes, Everlane is seizing. Carrion is very suspicious. It says, "I was up in the bedroom across the way, absolutely minding my own business, and I heard screaming. I had to kick the door down to get in, and she was strangling Taylena." Mm-hmm. Danya's also acting suspicious.
Right.
She says, "I was also minding my own business," and the warrior wiped her nose with the back of her hand, smearing blood across her cheek. She must have caught a stray fist from Lane. Her eyes flitted to Carrion's and lingered there. And I don't think for a second that they were fucking. I think they're doing something else. I think they're training.
You know?
I think he is tired of being a person who is overlooked. And I think he went to Danya and was like, please train me.
Yeah. And they're using that as a cover.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. I can see that.
I think there's sexual tension there for sure.
I think it could be a mix.
Maybe. A little fight and play.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes. But I don't think that Erlene hit her on. Otherwise, I think that Helena would have been like, are you good? Like, I think it would have been noted that it happened and not assumed that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I think that they are doing something else.
That's fair.
So, at this point, Lane is obviously, like, freaking. She's screaming, like, everything is happening. And there's a couple of interesting quotes. Helena says her soul is dressed in shadows. Yeah, right? Side eye. And it says, a figure lurked in her pale green eyes, the dark outline of a looming figure. It seemed to grow, getting closer. Not a reflection, but an actual, like, something you're, like, watching in a movie.
Right.
Right? And it says, the ink on Fisher's chest writhed, scattered to jagged lines. If I recall, his emotions do not connect with the movement of his tattoos.
No.
Why on earth are the tattoos on his chest literally moving around? Who is the figure? Was the figure Styx?
That's what I'm thinking, now rereading this. Mm-hmm. Who else would it be?
An associate of Styx, right? We meet lots of people when we go through the Icky portal.
Right.
So, it
has to do with him. I don't see any other way.
Right.
That there would be shadows.
Why else would it rise?
And Fisher would be, affected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Helena says, no, yes, she isn't here. I can feel her mind as if she is awake, but her consciousness feels like it's behind a wall or something. And then she starts screaming, and she says, the gate is open, a dread voice said. Speaking from her mouth, it cannot be closed. The gate is open, the gate is open, the gate is ... Mm-hmm. And I think we know what gate we're talking about, right? Like, we're talking about the gate of the Icky portal that opened, that Renfis is now guarding, because once the gate opened, things crawled through the gate and killed all the guards. So why is Everlane there? Out of all the places to go after being infected by Malcolm, why is this connected? How is Malcolm connected? How is his thrall connected?
Is Everlane just a vessel again? Is she still even there? Well, I guess Helena just said she is there behind a wall.
Yeah. It says like she's awake, but she's not really there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That all was really wild.
Mm-hmm.
So once it's all calmed down now, right? And then everyone's like, Carrie, where's your sword? Like, this is like a conversation even on Book Talk right now. Like, where's Carrion's sword? And they're like, wait, speaking of your blade, where is Simon, by the way? And it says, over the years, I'd seen Carrion successfully hide away an array of emotions. He was too slow to hide the color that leaped to his cheeks today. Don't you concern yourself with Simon, he said. I know exactly where my god sword is, thank you very much. And I do think that he knows where that sword is. I don't think that was a blush of embarrassment because he misplaced his sword. I think, again, he was training. Maybe. Or something. I don't think he really misplaced his sword. I don't know. It seems too obvious.
I'm too 50-50.
I think it was way too obvious.
I'm 50-50 on this.
And later on, it's even noted again, like, oh, I think Carrion's going to grab his sword.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which, when things are mentioned more than once, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So, one thing that, like, I thought was really weird, this has nothing to do with, like, Carrion or anything, but we find out that when Ceres was originally changed, they put to a vote between Ceres and the Lupercalia what to do with Amentreth. And she was outvoted. Danya, Lorith, and Renfis all voted to destroy it. It says that Lorith had voted for Amentreth to be destroyed, Renfis to casting his vote for Marin, Danya had voted for public dismemberment and the kind of torture that smacked of revenge. That's fine. And Ceres had begged for the opportunity to see if the members of the Blood Court could be redeemed. Why put it to a vote if you're just going to overrule? If I was part of the Lupercalia, I'd be pretty mad.
That's fair.
Like, why are you wasting my time then if you're just going to listen to one person?
Right. That's fair.
I don't have a theory. I just thought that was interesting. And so then, going back to the real story, we finally see Zovina on her knees getting put in her place, right? Because again, as we talked about previously, she's the keeper of missives. She kept every single letter that they had all sent to Foley, because she is in charge of communication in and out of Amentreth. Battle orders, news, secrets. And then I wonder, is she the rat? It seems too obvious, though. right? Like the mole that is like telling Bellicon everything. It seems too obvious, and she's dead now. Like, she dies in the story anyways.
Yes.
So it seems like...
But she's alive during the points that we're wondering who the fuck is saying this shit.
She is, yes. It just seems silly. If you're gonna make a mole, don't make it someone that dies of a different death.
Maybe. I'm just
Somebody
glad she's dead.
There's a rat in the house.
Yeah.
That's she's
fair.
Ordered to give all of the letters back personally.
I want to know what those letters be saying.
Yeah, basically like, we miss you, come home, like, we can do this together.
Know. But is there any small things?
Lots of threats we could use. And those are our chapters for today. There was a lot that was packed into it. Mm-hmm. But I'm glad you guys were here for the ride.
Yeah.
This is my favorite quote. It says, "It's okay, Osha. Many women have appreciated my posterior in a pair of leathers. I don't let it get to my head."
I think he does, but it's okay.
I want Anthony Palmy to read me that line.
He already did. Do this one, but do it in a different voice.
Ooh, that's a test.
That's a challenge.
But do it in a different voice.
Oh, that would be good. That would be good.
I would love it. So thank you guys for hanging out with us today. We covered a lot of chapters. We will see you guys next week with more chapters. We have 2 more episodes left. If you liked this episode, please make sure to subscribe to our channel, rate it if you can, and tune on in so that we can keep growing.